We would like to thank the following sponsors for the continued support as well, in no particular order. They are EF English Centers, ETS TOEIC, TOEFL Junior, and TOEFL ITP, Kia Learning International Limited, Nikkei Asia Limited, Striking Popping Candy, and 4M Creative Educational Toys. Thank you all for making this possible. Okay, before we move on, I want to make sure that everyone can see my sharing screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see the PowerPoint? If you can see it, please give me an okay. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. So for this year's competition, we have 3 topics. They are all related to environmental issues. They are Hong Kong with no winter, Guardians of the Earth, the Arctic crisis, and the Wheel of Seasons. We hope that these topics can help raise students' global awareness, as well as promote a more eco-friendly lifestyle. We have received so many creative and inspiring ideas from all of you guys. So thank you once again, that your active participation means a lot to us. So in view of the current coronavirus situation, we want to inform you guys that the dates of phase 2 submission deadline and as well as the final competition have been postponed until further notice. So once we have confirmed the exact schedule, then we will announce it through our radio drama website as well as informing your school teachers. So please make sure to check our competition website regularly. Our website is www.mysmartabc.com/drama. And also, if you have any questions, you can reach us at 2851-3822. So before we begin today's workshop, I would like to introduce Ms. Becky Baker from the Elephant Community Press. She will be conducting our workshop today. So Ms. Becky Baker is from Manchester, UK, where she was born and raised. Having lived, worked, and studied in London, Becky gained a Bachelor of Arts honors degrees in drama, applied theatre, and education from the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, University of London in 2010. And since then has traveled around Europe, Asia, and the UK working as a children's theatre writer and director. She has written and directed both original and adapted stories for organizations ranging from local community libraries in Malaysia to the National Theatre England. Becky specializes in writing for young audiences and has developed many stories and plays for children as young as age 1, as well as scripts and short stories for young people age 16. With a love of dreamy fantasy and parallel universes, her favorite authors include Oliver Jeffers, Philip Pullman, and of course, J.K. Rowling. So without any further ado, we will now pass the time to Ms. Becky Baker. Please welcome Becky.
Hi, so just give me the okay sign so I can see that you can hear me. Excellent. Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Kay, for your wonderful introduction. It's a very exciting project that you are all taking part in. I'm delighted to be able to technology to be able to bring us together at this time. So thank you for all coming along and listening. So in the workshop today, I might have some questions When I ask the questions, I'd like you to answer just by chatting in the chat box that we're all using here at the side. And then I will then choose some of the answers and read some of those answers out to share our thoughts on the topics for today. So today's workshop, we're going to be covering 4 main areas. The first is formatting scripts for radio drama and having a think about how those might be different from any other regular scripts that we have seen before. The second topic is sound effects and the use of sound effects to create places and atmosphere. The third topic is script writing and dialogue, telling the story through the use of speech. And then our fourth topic for today that we will be covering is the recording aspect of your radio drama. Think about performance and the way that we use our voices as actors and performers to tell our stories. Okay, so the first question that I have today is, what is radio drama? So if you have an answer to that question, you can just type it in the chat. I'm not looking for anything super detailed, just a few thoughts that first come to our minds when we think radio drama. What is it? Let's have a little look at what some of you think here. So if we can just type it into the chat box at the side, what is radio drama? Off you go. Let's see what some of these answers are. Don't show your face. Yes, absolutely. So in a radio drama, it is a story, it is a performance that happens without having any appearances, without having any faces shown at the time of the story being told. Acting out through recording, absolutely. A show with just the voice, wonderful. A role play presented by only voices and sounds without any visual components, absolutely. Yes, these are all correct answers. Radio drama is a story that is told through dialogue, narration, music, sound effects, and it's to help the listener imagine what is happening. So we are creating images, not with our bodies, not with set design, not with illustrations, but with our voices. Yes, and through your writing. A show with just the voice. Fantastic summary there of ideas about what is a radio drama. Each one of them absolutely correct. So thank you for sharing those thoughts today. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is share with you an example of a radio drama. It is one of my favorites. It is from the Tintin series. Some of you may have seen the movie or read the comics. Well, once upon a time, a man called, what was he called? Let me find out. Simon Eastwood, that's the one. He adapted the Tintin comics into a radio drama, and they were broadcasted on BBC Radio many years ago. So I want you to hear just the first example of the radio drama today. There are 3 things that I want you to listen out for. The first is the music that is used. The second is the sound effects that you can hear in this example of a radio drama. And the third, of course, is the dialogue. Now, this piece goes quite fast, so you have to listen really super carefully, and I can share the link with you after the workshop as well, so you can have a little look. They are available on YouTube. So 3 things that I'm looking out for: the music, the sound effects, and the dialogue. When you hear those things, I want you to comment in the chat box just at the things that you can hear happening in this radio drama. Okay, here we go.
The Adventures of Tintin by Hergé, dramatized by Simon Eastwood. One of the Black Island.
The editor. Forgery. This adventure took me on a hair-raising chase from rural England to a remote island in the wilds of Scotland. It all began one day when Snowy, my little terrier, was taking me for a walk. Nothing like a stroll in the countryside, eh, Snow? Hot plane in trouble? Sounds bad. Why, it's unregistered. Looks like it's having to make a forced landing. Let's have a look, Snowy.
Oh, must we?
Come on.
Oh, no, here we go again.
Will it take?
Okay, I'm going to hold it there. Great. So let's see some of the things. If you can just write them in the chat there that you heard, some of the sound effects, the type of music, the dialogue that you heard there in that example. So yeah, great. Upbeat music. Yeah, it gives us a sense of adventure. Something exciting is going to be happening as the use of upbeat music. Good. Birds chirping. Great. Yeah, it takes us to the place. We know we're outdoors, maybe in the countryside, maybe lots of trees around, because we can hear the birds chirping. Countryside, yes, absolutely. Ambiance of that. The image of Tintin in his chair at his work desk, typing away to the editor, because we can hear the sound of the typewriter, so we know what he's doing in that moment. We can create that picture without even needing to see the picture. Fantastic. Thank you for your ideas there. Absolutely. We will go on a little bit more about the dialogue and how we include imagery, and we can create the pictures through the dialogue very soon. Example of the script. I want us to have a look and think about the formatting of how we write a script for radio drama and how it is different to a script that you might have seen either for a play on stage, if you've ever done a school performance, how it might be different from a movie script that you might have even seen in the past. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. Again, if there's any issues and you can't see the document properly, just drop us a note and we'll try and get the technical difficulties sorted. But right now, you should be able to see a simple Word document of the script from the scene of the radio drama that we have just heard, The Adventures of Tintin. So I'm just going to simply go through with you the format, the layout of how the script looks, so that when you are submitting your script, when you are doing the final edit of your script, you can see how clear it needs to be for all of the people involved in creating the radio drama to know which is their responsibility, which is their role, which are the lines that the actors are saying, what is the lines for the technicians, etc., etc. So let's have a little look through. Tintin, episode 1, The Black Island. So the title of the radio drama, obviously right there at the top. Adapted by Simon Eastwood. Again, he didn't write these scripts. The stories of Tintin were by Hergé, but he adapted them for radio play. Yours will obviously be by yourself, so you can put by and then your name, or written by and your name. SFX, does anybody know what SFX stands for? If you can just write that in the chat for me. Stands for, I just need to get the chat up there so that I can see it. It is sound effects. Yes, SFX, so the FX is like a short way of saying FX, yeah? So SFX means sound effects. Now, if you're in the using the lighting effects, but obviously in radio we don't need lighting because we're not performing on a stage, so we just see SFX. SFX 1, intro. Adventurous music plays for 11 seconds. Really clear for the technician there. If you know the title of the piece of music that you want to use, or you've composed your own piece of music that you want to use, fantastic, great, put it in the script. Make sure the people that are helping you to create your radio drama know exactly. You can see it's in bold, it's in capitals. Why? So that we can see it nice and clearly and that we don't get confused with the lines of the dialogue that the actors are saying, okay? Next, we can see the name of the character, narrator. Yes, The Adventures of Tintin by Hergé. We can see the difference between what the character is saying and who the character is, again, just by using capital letters and bold to show who it is and then the regular dialogue just in regular text, okay? We can see that all the way down. Every single sound effect is recorded, okay? A typewriter typing fast as Tintin reads the following passage. Gentle whistling music, dog panting for breath, yes? Birds tweeting, creaking sound of the aeroplane coming from the sky. It's really clear, not one sound effect is missed, yeah? So that we know that we're getting it exactly spot on. Okay, so I will share this document with you so you'll be able to see when you're typing your script, it's nice and clear how you're formatting it. Again, just one final thing I want to show you on this document here. In the brackets, in the parentheses there, relaxed. So the actor is getting a little bit of a clue from the writer of how to perform this dialogue relaxed, yeah? Nothing like a stroll in the countryside, eh, Snowy? I know that I can try my best to act as though I am relaxed. That is like this rather than it's not like a scared yeah, it's a relaxed. The writer is telling me how to use my voice in that moment there, okay? And the same later down here, scared. Oh, must we? Snowy is scared at that point, so I can act scared. It makes it easy, nice and easy for me to be able to perform, and nice and easy for my listeners to then be able to understand the emotions and the feelings behind the dialogue. Okay, great. So that's formatting covered. So next I'll stop sharing this now and then we can just all see each other. Great. So the next topic about sound effects that I want us to talk about is the 2 reasons why we use sound effects. Does anybody know what do sound effects add to the piece? What are the 2? There's 2 specific things, and I'll go through them, but I just want to see if anyone has any ideas first. Create the atmosphere, spot on, absolutely. Yes, to create the feeling, the emotion. Is it supposed to be tense? Is it supposed to be exciting? Is it supposed to be scary? What is that atmosphere? Quite often with the and the emotion conjoined with the atmosphere, absolutely, to create the mood, the feeling that the listener is that we want the listener to have. Absolutely, to make it entertaining for the listener, to bring us really into that world. So that world surrounds us of where we are. Make things more dramatic. Absolutely, you can use music to make the tension in the story. Excellent. And then absolutely spot on, student 12 from St. Mary's, illustrate the setting and environment to tell us where, to make it really clear where you are. Yeah, so the 2 main things are the atmosphere and the place. Okay, so sound effects can create the atmosphere and they can tell us the place of where it is happening. Okay, so let's take a place as an example. Let's use the jungle. Okay, if we are setting our radio drama in the jungle, what sound effects might I hear in the background to show me the place? So think about the place, the jungle. What sound effects could I have? Monkeys, thank you. Yes, student 13 from SMCC. Good. Birds, yes, thank you. Excellent. Birds, trees rustling, yes, in the wind, something like this. Dogs, wild noises. Cats, yes, maybe even like jungle cats, like big cats. Maybe growls, yes, scratches, the river flowing, lovely, tigers roaring. Great, absolutely, yeah. Okay, so pause there. How about, yes, the wind sound, always a really good one to let your audience know that you're outdoors, in the outdoors. Okay, so that sets our place. What about the atmosphere, the feeling? Let's say that in this jungle, going on an adventure. So we've shown the place, we've got the noises of the place. What could we use? Maybe thinking more down the music line now, as opposed to the noises. What kind of sounds in the music could we hear that might make us think that we're going on an exciting adventure in the jungle? Write down your ideas at the side there. So we've set the place, now we want to create the atmosphere. Fast music, good. Lively music, excellent. Think about what type of instruments might we hear in the jungle, in that, to create that lively, upbeat, fast music scene. Drums, absolutely, yes. That idea of the pigskin drums, or the bongo drums, that we might hear something like this. Orchestral music, yes. String music could make us again, the tension build and feel very dramatic. Trumpets, absolutely. Exciting, fast-paced music, yeah. Quick sounds. Flute, yes, like the birds tweeting in the trees. The flute could absolutely take us to there. The guitar, yeah. Acoustic instruments, wood instruments. Fantastic, good stuff. Okay, hold it there. I think that you've got the point of this one. Let's try a haunted house. How does that contrast with the jungle? So in my story, we've started off, we're in the jungle, then we find an old abandoned building and it's a haunted house, and we go inside the haunted house. What might we hear? Let's focus on sounds to show us the place first. What kinds of sounds might we hear in the haunted house? Whispering, squeaking, wood crackling, lovely, good. Wind again, yes, absolutely. Doors opening, nice, good, fantastic. Creepy laughs, children's laughs. Oh, getting shivers down my spine already. Excellent, good. Bats, lovely. Okay, yeah, bats flapping. We'll come on to that in a moment. All right, fantastic. My laugh, hold it there. Wonderful. How about then, if we wanted to push it further to create the atmosphere? So we've got the place, we've heard about the sounds for the place. How about a bit of music to create the atmosphere? How might it change from our fast drumming from the jungle? What might we then hear in the haunted house? Pianos, yeah, like an old out of tune piano, maybe. An organ, yeah, there's always something quite creepy about an organ, playing like, yeah, my screaming. Yeah, we can have like faint screams in the background, or ghostly screams, broken instruments. Wow, love that idea. That's fantastic. Yeah, great. Okay, let's hold it there. Good stuff. Thank you very much. So, top two pieces of information that I want you to take away from sound effects today is sound effects take us to a place. Okay, so it's really, really useful to have them in your radio drama to help create the scene, to help the audience understand where your characters are. And then the second most important, well, they're both as important as each other, but the second tip is to create the atmosphere. We're in the haunted house. I want the audience to feel scared. We're in the jungle. I want the audience to feel adventure. Okay, good. All right, we're going to play a little game. I'm going to play some sounds to you, and I want you to just guess what you think that they are, and you can just write them down in the chat here. Okay, so here's the first one. Okay, I'll do it one more time. Okay, so just write down what you think that is. Door opening, closing. Yes, absolutely. Door creaking. Door, yeah. Okay, hold it there. Great. It is, yeah, it's a door, right? It doesn't need to be complicated. It can be that simple. Okay, let's try this one. This time, I want you to think about the atmosphere that this place is creating. Okay, so you can guess where it is, but you can also tell me the atmosphere of what you feel in this place as well. Okay, let's see what we've got. Market, crowded place, restaurant, city, shopping mall, MTR. Great, yeah. So they're all quite varied, different places, streets, yeah. This is actually chaotic atmosphere football game. Good. So this recording was actually taken in a school canteen. Okay, but you're right. It doesn't necessarily matter where that place is that we can hear that noise. What matters is the atmosphere that we're creating. And you're spot on. Everybody has got there somewhere that is busy. MTR station, market, city, crowded place, restaurant, shopping mall. Yeah. So it doesn't take us to the place, but it sets the atmosphere. And that is really, really important because you got that spot on. Yeah. It could be anywhere. It could be any of those places. But what we do know is that it's a busy place. So therefore, we have to use something else in our radio drama to show that it's in the school canteen. Maybe it's through the dialogue. Maybe it's through another sound effect. Yeah, clattering plates, the school bell, something like this. Okay. All right. Final one. Listen carefully. This time, it is an atmospheric place that sound effects that we have, but I want you to think of the atmosphere that is created, but also think about where the place is now as well. So let's see if we can get the atmosphere and the place in this next one. Alrighty, let's have a look what we've got. Just scroll down. Merry-go-round, circus, amusement park, carnival. Yes, absolutely. It is this. There is something a little bit creepy about it as well. There's like that laughter and the kind of the old, almost like a Victorian kind of era fairground music. Scary circus, yeah. Absolutely. There's something about that. But there's that idea of the entertainment. We know that it's a circus, carnival, amusement park, big fun fair because of that familiar sound. We're not trying to fool anybody, yeah? We're not trying to trick anybody. We want our audience to know where we are. We want it to be clear. Think about what really makes it very clear that we are in a certain place. The Kardashians. Very funny. Yes, they are, in some opinions, a little bit like a circus, aren't they? Excellent. All right. Thank you, everyone. Great stuff. So one final thing about sound effects before we move on to talking about dialogue today is how can you create these sounds? Where can you, if you're including these sounds into your play and it comes to the part where you're recording your play, where can you find these sounds? Tell me. Where do you think you can find them? Google, yeah. Websites, yeah, absolutely. YouTube. All of the sound effects that I've played for you today are from YouTube. Yeah, sometimes you usually find it in YouTube or you can record it yourself. Fantastic. Thank you for that idea. I'll give you a really good website. I'll send you the link to it in a moment. Where we can see some really creative ways of how we can make sound effects from our own home. Okay, so just hold it there. But all the sounds that I've played for you today are from YouTube. Now you have to be careful sometimes with copyright issues. Okay, you don't. We can't always necessarily use certain music that might. That might belong to a famous artist or something that you want to include. Have to be careful with copyright law. So what you need to do is find something that says that it is copyright free, yeah, or that it's free to use. So for example, the footsteps sound effect here, if you listen to this one. Very simple, just some sound effects. You can make it at home on your own, or if you want to find it on YouTube, it says footsteps sound effect, non-copyright, so anybody can use it. Okay, great. So I'm going to send you a link on it now. I'm just going to post it here in the chat, and we can have a look at some really creative ways of how we can record some sounds ourselves. So oh, I've only sent it to one person privately. Hang on a moment, everyone. There it is. There's the website. Cool. So if everyone can go there, it's www.epicsound.com/SFX, okay? And if we go to that website now, you can see that there's a whole list here of interesting sounds and creative ways at home that you can get these sounds made so that you can record them. Most mobile phones these days, or laptops, computers that you're on now, will have some kind of recording program or service on them that you can use to record. So let's see, this one, airplane. Get some of the larger fans and record the different speeds and powers going up and down on big room, just basic room fans. If any of you have got a fan at home, and you can put it on like level 1, and it might be like a slow, and then you can layer it, put level 2, and it goes a bit faster. And then when we set them in the right, with the dialogue that might explain that we're in an airport, we can hear that those sound like engines then. Bats flying, this is one of my favorite. Using an umbrella, opening and closing rapidly so that it flaps like the sound of bats flying with their wings. Or sometimes it also sounds like a massive flock of big birds, maybe swans or geese, or like a big duck kind of bird flapping as well. There's lots of gruesome ones here. Bones crunching. What else have we got? Boulders rolling. One of my favorites, really simple. If you want to create a fire at any point, a fire crackling. Yeah, we can't start a real fire in our house. It's going to be incredibly dangerous. But we can quite simply take a piece of paper and scrumple it up. It's that simple. Also, plastic wrapping is really good as well for a fire crackling. So again, you're thinking about recycling, reusing old bits of rubbish that you might have in the house. Empty milk cartons can be used as drums. Water bottles can be used as wind if you blow on the water bottles. There's lots of ways here to be thinking about how you can recycle and reuse your old rubbish as well, which is obviously in fitting with our environmental awareness topic for you, what you're writing about as well. Okay, great. Keep that website because it's really useful. Yeah, if you're using stuff off YouTube, make sure that it is copyright free so that you're not putting yourself in any trouble with anyone who might hear your recording in the future. Okay, excuse me. All right, so next we're going to move on to explaining action through dialogue. So I'm going to share with you the Tintin script again, and we're just going to have a brief look at what I mean by action through dialogue. Now, one of the biggest challenges of writing a radio drama is that your audience cannot see your actors. So you lose all use of facial expression. You lose all use of body language, okay? Those two things completely disappear, and we focus completely on the voice. Now, it is important that your characters in your story are making sure that what they are saying, so when you're writing your character's dialogue, it needs to be really clear to the audience where they are, who they're talking to, what they're talking about, so that the audience don't get confused. Otherwise, they're not going to enjoy your play if they don't understand it. Yeah, so let's have a little look at this. Nothing like a stroll in the countryside, eh, Snowy? So there, straight away, in that first opening sentence of Tintin, back in the countryside, taking his dog for a walk, Yeah, we know where he is because he says we're in the countryside. He literally tells us where they are. Yeah, we know who he's with, Snowy, because he says Snowy's name, so we know that he's with Snowy. He's not talking to his next door neighbour. He's not talking to his best friend. Well, Snowy is his best friend, so he is talking to his best friend, but he's not talking to another human. We know who Snowy is. Snowy's the dog. He's talking to the dog. How do we know Snowy's a dog? Woof, woof, because his reply is, yes, woof, woof, and we hear the bark of the dog. So straight away, we can see this little dog next to Tintin walking through the countryside. And all they have said is 2 lines. Yeah? Okay, let's take it down to the next bit. We hear like kind of a strange crackling noise on the radio drama. First, we're not sure what it is. It could be anything. It could be a broken down car. It could be, I don't know, something going on in the street. But we find out it's a plane. It's an airplane. How do we know? Tintin tells us. A plane in trouble. Sounds bad. If we take out a plane in trouble and he just goes, sounds bad. Why? It's unregistered. Looks like it's having to make a forced landing. Yeah, we're like, what sounds bad? What is it? What's unregistered? Well, he's already told us it's a plane. Yeah, it's that simple. We know it's a plane because Tintin has told us it's a plane. Great, we can see it. We can see the plane in the sky having to make a forced landing. He's telling us, he's not just saying, oh, look, the plane's landing. Yeah, he's telling us it's a forced landing. What does that do to the image in your head? It creates some kind of panic. Oh, it's being forced to land. It's in danger. It's in trouble. Something bad's happening. Quick, let's have a look, Snowy. Yeah? So all the action is really detailed through the dialogue, through what is being said. Now, it's quite simple. There's a really clear example from this Tintin script, which is why I chose to use this script. You might, if you need to, you might want to have a narrator. Okay, it's not completely out of the question or unordinary for radio dramas to have a narrator, just to give a little bit of context, again, just to make it super clear. You're not trying to trick your audience. Yeah, you want them to understand the story. You want them to understand who is saying what. That doesn't mean you need to give all the mystery away. That doesn't mean you need to give all the answers away to the problems and the overcoming the issues that your character is going to face in their story. But what it does mean is that if the character can't quite do it through their dialogue, by all means, bring in a narrator. Just make sure when you've written it as well, sometimes when you know the story in your head, okay, and you read it, it might make sense to you because you know the story. Read it aloud to somebody who's never heard it before. Read it to a parent, to an auntie, to a sibling. Read it to whoever, a friend, whoever's willing to listen to you. Read it out loud to them first. Does it make sense? Do they understand what the thing falling from the sky is? Or do you need to make it more clear? Do you need to put in more clues? Yeah? Always thinking, always trialing it. Read it out loud. Don't be ashamed or embarrassed by your writing. Enjoy it, celebrate it, let everybody hear it before it's then submitted in its final draft. Okay, get it spot on. Good. All right, so I'm going to share a little doc with you. One moment. This one. Script writing top tips. Share. So let's have a look at these top tips and then we'll move on to recording and performance. So top tips for radio drama script writing. Try and get the characters in the scene to tell us through their dialogue what is happening. That should say to tell us, not can tell us. To tell us through their dialogue what is happening, just what we have talked about. Try to avoid having one character speaking for too long. This may cause the listeners to lose interest. Keep switching up the voices, switching up the sounds. Even as simple as with Tintin, having Snowy to bounce back and forward from means that we don't just listen to Tintin the whole time. It's broken up with a bit of difference through Snowy jumping in there. Include the 5 W's: who, what, where, why, when. Make sure you've answered them throughout your script so that we know what is going on in the play and so that your audience aren't confused, okay? Use the 5 senses to provide more detail. We can't see, so you can describe colors, shapes, buildings, trees, objects, whatever it is that your character can see. Describe them. What can they smell? What can they taste? Yeah, hear is really good in radio drama because you can include your hearing through the sound effects. Yeah, and then finally the textures. What does it feel like when they're walking through the jungle? What does the texture? Is it damp in the air? Is it humid? Is it moisture? What's going on with the senses? Is it hot? Is it cold? Thinking about texture as well is really important to create that 360 experience that we want the listener to have. Okay, describe people's reactions or feelings in the dialogue. So again, looking back to when we saw in the brackets where it said scared, we know then that the actor needs to perform that line, scared. Excited, yeah, it's not too much. He's excited and jumping up and down with joy. Doesn't need that much description. Just a simple emotion so that your actor knows how to interpret it is great. Okay, excellent. We've got 15 minutes left of our workshop today, and I know that you guys need to have some time for some questions. And I have one more thing that I want to talk to you about today before we jump on to questions. So I'm just going to cut into 5 minutes of our last 50 minutes to focus on recording and voice work when you're recording a radio drama. Because it's super, super important to get right. And then after that, we'll have 10 minutes for any questions that you might have for myself or for Kay, or any concerns that you might have as well. Okay, so the final thing that we're going to talk about is performance and recording. There are 2 things that I need you to be able to do, that we need you to be able to do to make sure that we get the best quality from your radio performance, and that's projection, okay, and clarity. Projection and clarity. We want to make sure that we can hear you nice and loudly, yeah, not shouting, yeah, we don't want anybody shouting, but projecting, and we'll talk about what the difference is there with those, and clarity, so that we can hear the exact words that you're saying, again, because you don't have your face, you don't have your body to help you out with your communication on radio drama. It's all down to your voice. So what I'd like everyone to do, obviously keep your microphones off, so that we that you don't have to make lots and lots of noise and embarrass ourselves in front of everyone. But what I'd like to do is just take a nice big deep breath in, hold it, and just let it all out of your lungs. Excellent, good. And when you breathe in, make sure your shoulders aren't coming right up here. I want you to remember that your lungs are down here in your ribs. So breathe the oxygen into here, because this is where you're going to project from. Okay, one more time. Breathe in, hold it, and let it all out. Good job. Excellent. Okay, so when we are projecting, we want our voices to punch from our diaphragm. Your diaphragm is that little bit when you've got hiccups, that you can feel kicking out of your ribs there. So a really good way to warm up our diaphragm before we start speaking is by going ha, ha, yeah, and just making that laughing sound. And we're going to go through the vowel sounds with the laugh. So we're going to go ha, ha, he, ho, ho, hoo, hoo. And when you're doing that, I want you to feel your diaphragm kicking out of your ribs. So everyone try that for me now in your bedroom. Find your diaphragm just underneath your ribs. It's about here. Find your diaphragm and take a deep breath in. And ha, ha, feel it kick from there. Good. He, Excellent, good. And when you are speaking in your radio drama, that is where your projection will come from. Not from back here where it hurts and strains your throat. You don't want to shout from back here. You want to push from here, okay? The second one is diction. So thinking about the way that our mouth moves. Every word in radio drama needs to be exaggerated. If I just say my lines like this, let's go back to the Tintin script. What does he say? Nothing like a nice stroll in the country, eh, Snowy? Okay, and nothing like a nice stroll in the countryside, eh, Snowy? I'm thinking about every single letter that is in the word. And even though when you can see my face performing it, it looks exaggerated and it looks a bit silly, when it's on the radio drama, again, you don't have that face to support your acting. So your voice needs to do all the clarity. Some really good ways of doing this, tongue twisters. Yes, 11 lemon lollipops. Can everyone say that for me 5 times in a row? 11 lemon lollipops, 11 lemon lollipops, 11 lemon lollipops, 11 lemon lollipops, 11 lemon lollipops. Good. You can try some simple ones like dragons drinking Danish drinks. See, even I can't do it. Dragons drinks. Dragons drinking Danish. These, you can see how much work your mouth has to do in order to perform those words. So let's try that one. Dragons drinking Danish drinks. All together, 5 times. 1, 2, 3. Dragons drinking Danish drinks. 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 Excellent, good. And then you can see the importance. Every single letter, every single vowel needs to be slightly exaggerated when we are recording so that you can hear it nice and clearly. Okay, thank you very much. We've got 10 minutes left. All the resources that I've shared with you online today will be emailed to you. So the top tips, the script example, the layout example, the Tintin script, and the YouTube links. And just before I finish, I'd like to share one more screen with you, which I will again also email with you, and then we'll have time for some questions, which is this one. Tips for recording. When you are performing, speak clearly. Stay about 2 hand lengths away from the microphone so we don't get feedback or like this noise. When you are not performing, keep quiet. We don't want to hear any background noise from the room. We want the sound effects to take us to the place where you are. If your effects will come in, keep your lines where you can see them. Yes, try not to hold your papers, as the rustling sound of your papers will get picked up. If you are putting on a voice, if you're putting on a silly accent, or if you're doing a low voice or a high voice, or anything like that, make sure that you stay in character. Okay, don't suddenly halfway through go back to your regular usual voice. And finally, don't get frustrated. Yeah, it is supposed to be a fun.
I was living a double life for a little over
that.
a year. I called my mom and I said, "Hey, Mom, can I talk to you?" She's like, "Yeah."
Sorry,
Are you sitting down? And I said,
"Oh my gosh, what is this?"
She said,
Goodness, sorry about that.
and she just
It's just still doing it. 1 moment.
and then we didn't speak for 7 years.
What is this noise? Where is this coming from? Oh, goodness me.
I looked in the mirror and I saw something that's not what I wanted.
Sorry, I don't know where this noise is coming from on my... Oh my...
I don't know anything. I have to learn how people...
There we go. Right, sorry about that. Okay, right. So yeah, the most important thing is that it is fun and that it is enjoyable. Don't get frustrated if you have to record it a first, second, third, or fourth time. Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a really exciting thing to be able to do. So good luck with all your writing, and I can't wait to see your final pieces. Looking forward to it. So that's all from me. Thank you very much, and hopefully I will see you soon.
Thank you, Becky, for your excellent workshop. I'm sure the students can learn a lot from your sharing. So now we will move on to our Q&A session. So if you guys have some questions for Becky or other general question for a competition, please let us know in the chat room, or you can use the raise hands features.
Can we record the script from round 1? Kay, I think that's
Yes,
for you.
of course. Yes, you can start recording it if you don't have any changes for your original script, but if you want to re-edit, then it's also okay. But please make sure that it's just minor changes. If you change too much from your original script, then it will be totally different from what you have sent to us. So please make sure that just minor changes are okay. Any more questions?
So again, I will share the resources as well that we've used today, so you can have access to the top tips and the script layout examples as well.
Okay, so if you guys have questions later, you can always call us at 28513822 or email us. So using the original script will exceed. Oh, then I think you have to re-edit again so that you can make sure that your performance will be within 5 minutes. But if it is longer than 5 minutes, then I think 10 seconds to 20 seconds are acceptable. But please make sure that ideally you need to keep your performance within 5 minutes. Can we add something? Can we add something at the end of the script? Like what? Do you mean sound effects or other stuff?
Maybe a bit more of the story or a few dialogues?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you can add music, eh?
Music. You can add music, but make sure that it's not some copyrighted stuff.
Yes.
So for the Tiffany Cool, your group have the names wrong. Please send an email to us.
Just about the question about the music, you can, if you have the ability to compose your own music, of course, that's a really great way to avoid copyright because it's your own creation, whether that's recording yourself on an instrument that you play or whether that is using some feature like GarageBand or Sound Audacity, something like whatever sound device you have on your computer. Sometimes GarageBand has tracks that anybody can use. They're copyright free. Or again, if you search for something on YouTube, you can type in copyright free. Just make sure the music says copyright free on it and you can use it.
So if there is no more question, then we would like to remind you once again that our original schedule has been postponed until further notice. So please make sure that you check our radio drama website regularly. So later, when you want to submit your MP3 file to us, you can upload your audio file to bcontest.mysmartedu.com.cn or send your MP3 to us at drama@mysmartabc.com. So that's the end of our today's workshop. Thank you, Becky, once again for your excellent workshop. And we hope all of you can have more time to work on your performance. And good luck, stay healthy and stay strong. And we hopefully will see you soon. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.